I'm going to be showing the new combat tracker in the AD&D Ruleset. I started doing this revamp of the combat tracker to improve the load speeds with encounters. That's been one of the complaints that I've had with the Ruleset, and so I wanted to go ahead and get that fixed so that you won't have any problems loading any number of creatures that you want, I guess within reason. So this is what the new combat tracker looks like. It looks a little different. But otherwise it has similar functionality. The buttons, icons, and whatnot are different. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring up a set of creatures that I've already configured. It's like 22 creatures here. And you just drag and drop it like you normally would on the left side. What that does is that adds all of them there. See how fast that was? Oh, that would have taken so long in the old rule set. You can see here that it added effects to specific ones. And you can scroll with a wheel, or you can grab a hold of this and scroll up and down. To see what these creatures have, you just simply click on them, left click like that, and you can see the big screen over here is changing to the one you click. Now it's much bigger. You can see all this power city has. We can stretch that out a little bit more. There are also some additional tabs, effects, stats, for if you need to do a strength check or save versus poisons or something. And if they had skills. This particular creature doesn't. There is also a section up here at the top, the header portion, where you can change his initiative value. It's hit points. For creatures, if you need to change their base hit points, you can double click on that there. Right where it says hit point, you can double click on that, and then you can change the base hit point value. Done. And the reason you want to do that, you can actually just type in a number there, but if you have a effect that modifies hit point values, it won't work right if you don't set the base hit point. So you'll want to set the base hit points to what they have, and then it'll adjust the total. Temp hit points and wounds. You'll also notice that when they take damage, like I just typed 12 there, you can see this little bar down here is went bright red. You can also double click on this box here where the wounds are. I double click on that, it'll bring this up. You type in a number here, and you can do more damage, or you can heal, or you can just cancel. I'm going to heal 6. So now you can see the health bar went up. That's what all these little green bars are. They're health bars for that creature. If you need to bring up the actual NPC sheet, you can click on the little link there, and you get the full thing if you need to edit it, change it. There's also some limited editing that you can do within this, like if we wanted to add a spell to this creature. How about we do a goblin? I've got magic missile right here, so I'm going to drag and drop magic missile, and you can see it adds it. So now I can just use that spell for that creature. If you wanted to cast it on someone, you could drag and drop it to them right directly here. Or if you had them targeted, you could just double click that button and it would do it. Same way as it kind of did on the other one. So one of the other things that you can do while you're in the combat tracker here is with this guy selected, goblin number 3, you can control left click any of these on the left and target them. So I'm going to go ahead and control left click the skeleton 3, and you can see 2 things happen. Actually 3. You can see this little box appeared up in the header section. Tells me he has targeted skeleton number 3. If I want to remove all his targets, I can click that. You also notice that when he control clicked that one, this little red target appears. That means that this guy targeted this guy. The one that you have selected is selected that one. So if I click down here, it goes away. Go back up here, it'll show me who he has targeted. You can also see he has a target now up here, and if you mouse over it, it'll tell you what he has targeted. Like if I target Karen Crawler number 1, gives another red here. But if you mouse over this, you can see he's got those 2 selected. So that allows you, like if you have him targeted and you want to, for whatever reason, need to know, you can mouse over that and see that. The way initiative works, once you're ready, and in this case, let's go ahead and show the menus. Used to be there was a giant menu text down around here. I've moved it up here to this. These icons, I'm not entirely sure they'll stay this way, but the general layout is probably going to. But in this case, so to get to the menu, you come up here and you click on these triple bars, and it brings up the old menu that you used to. And I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative for everybody. You've all rolled initiative. Something else you'll notice is that they're all default to hidden, and you can individually click them and make them visible. So the PCs on the right side, players can see them. Or you can click this, toggle it on and off, and it'll show all of them, which we wanted to see all of them. So once you have that set, you can start initiative by dragging and dropping this to the first person if you would like. Or you could just click the little next actor and it'll go to the next one. And just cycle through each one. So if you want to clear all these out, go to the menu, delete from, we're deleting all foes, and we just got rid of all those guys. So if we wanted to put a PC, and I've got Neebs down here, we'll just drag and drop him in there. You'll notice it looks a little different. PCs won't have this section. They also, views are going to look different. And that's because if you want to do something with them to make attacks, you're going to have to bring up their character sheet to do that. The effects will work, stats will work if you want to do these rolls from here, and if he had skills, those would show here as well. But if you need to do an attack with him, you would need to click on the shortcut, bring it up, and do his attack or his power if he had any. We're going to bring up another smaller group of monsters so that we're going to make them visible. Now they're all visible, and if you were a player on the other side, you'd now see all these creatures. And we're going to bring up a map. It's here. And now I'm going to just this a little bit, and we're going to drag this little red helmet. That means to bring all the hostile foes and just drop it in there, and then it puts them all. Then we'll do the same thing with the green. Place him there. So now we have all of our guys here. And you can notice that if I mouse over these guys, each one, you'll see on the window tracker over here on the left side, it's highlighting the one that I'm moused over. If you click on the one directly, it'll put a little red arrow on which one you've clicked. And these are just indicators, so if you need to do something, or if you want to remember that guy or something within that combat round, or that initiative, that arrow will stay there. As soon as initiative starts for this particular round, it will remove that, and I'll show you. We'll go ahead and roll initiative for everybody so that my player here has one. And then we're going to click down and start our round. And you notice the arrow disappeared, but you can also see on the map, this guy got a green circle with some yellow little pins there. Shows you who has initiative. And when you mouse over, it'll tell you as initiative. On the map, you can do something similar to the control left click that you could do up here to target. You can still continue to do that, or you can just control left click down on the map like that. It'll put the little crosshairs here that he's targeted. It'll also put one on the map token as well. It's gonna move up. And since I've clicked on him, you can see it's got to the little red arrow, selected arrow. Selected arrow there. So we're going to go to the next person, org number 2. He's going to target Neebs as well and close in. Neebs is going to target the 2 guys next to him. And you can see again, it keeps track of here and here as well. So you don't have to use a map if you don't want it. And it will show it here though if you need it. And our next guy, he's going to target the orc. For some reason, the skeleton doesn't like orcs, and he's targeted those guys. And then our last guy is going to move up to here and target Neebs. So Neebs has got 3 guys on it. So we've did all our movements. We've kind of shuffled everything around. We're going to start a new round. We're back to skeleton number 2. He has targeted Neebs. So you can do 2 things. He's already got Neebs targeted, so I could just double click the attack button. And it'll swing at him. I could drag this to the map and it would swing at him. I could also drag it over here and just drop it on top of his little green box here and it will attack him. So all 3 of those function as drag and drop positions. So I could do damage here. I could do damage over here. And I could just double click it. And it does damage because he's targeted. The double click will just do it directly to that. But if you'd like to drag and drop and not have targets directly, you can just drag and drop it on the map. You can drag and drop it in this section. To do spells, let's see. Let's give one of our guys, Orc, let's give him a spell. Give him sleep and say he's casting sleep on Neebs. And of course, there's no save for sleep, so we just go ahead and drag and drop the effect there. And if we go look at Neebs, you can see now he has an effect here, the duration and all that. You can also go to here, click on the effects tab, and you can see the specifics. If you want to remove it, you can. If you want to edit it, you can. If you want to manually add one, you click that green plus and you can add one. So we're going to go back to our guy with initiative. I'm going to give him another spell, Cure Critical Wounds. So if you're wanting to cast a cure or a heal or something, you can do the same thing. You can target here, you can target on the map, either way you want. You can also drag and drop weapons onto the combat tracker selected side, the right side. So if we wanted to give this guy a broadsword instead of just attack, you can drag and drop it there. And then he can use it to attack Neebs with. If you want to do more editing than that, you'll need to bring up their NPC sheet. Go to actions, edit this directly. You can click that and delete it or whatever you need to do there. If you want to go to powers, you can do the same thing. Click that. You can delete them however you need to. That should cover most of the new. I will post on the forums when the test channel has this version of the combat tracker. If you have any suggestions on how to make it better, or if you find any bugs, there probably will be some. That's why it's going to be on the test channel. And I would absolutely tell you, back up your campaign before you load this. It shouldn't cause any problems, but you never know. Also, the client side does not look like this. It looks like the old version. It will not. It has not changed at all until I get this piece finalized and nailed down and done. I'm not going to touch the player side. If you notice something odd about the player side, please let me know. But the back end of this should be the same. They shouldn't notice any difference.